What's up, guys? It's RECon 2019. We're gonna crush the conference. We're gonna do some cocktail parties. We're gonna hang out with old friends. We're gonna make some new ones, and we're gonna have a killer episode, so check it out.
People calling me up saying they need a feature, saying we can help each other, but I see the leeches. Get the credit where it's due, I ain't talking Visa, but since we talking Visa, don't say you won't pay me either. Did you catch that?
What's up, guys? We are heading into Caesar's Palace to Gordon Ramsay's pub to catch up with the folks from Realty Resources and have a conversation, I think, with the restaurant committee. And after that, we're gonna head over to the Let's Get Social event at the Aria and follow along.
What's the best thing you've seen out of all of the massive vlogging you've been doing?
So I landed a pretty big development deal locally, and the clients had basically hired another company, and I put a video together. We were all at the property with a drone, and all of us standing at the property, and then like a crazy 5-minute video of the train station, like all this shit, all the retail. And as a result of that, we won the business. So see you tomorrow. Let's go. We're going to the Sabre cocktail party that started like 45 minutes ago.
So we're heading to the bowler party, Bowler Engineering, over at Encore Beach Club. It's always a great way to start off Icsc on Sunday night. Looking forward to seeing a lot of people that we know and catching up, and yeah, excited.
Do you guys have like a schedule that you typically use? It really appears that I'm constantly on Instagram or constantly videoing and things of that nature. And I keep a grid on my Instagram and use a quote card in the morning, and then in the evening a photo, which is literally just twice a day. I'm like, I don't post, in my opinion, that much. But in most other people's opinion, at least in our industry, I post a ton. How do you do it? Do you guys use the same structure and format daily, or are you kind of just winging it as you go, so to speak?
Winging it. Since the algorithm has changed, I have changed. When a video shouldn't be a minute long, what I'll do is people are generally not watching 100% of the video, and you can see that when you go in. So I'll make the first 15 to 30 seconds something really important, and off the back end of it, that's where I'll just plug in and edit something and throw just Arizona commercial real estate, just different things, different music on the back end. Nobody's gonna see it anyways, but you get the reach.
Just post what you're doing. At first I think I was overthinking it, like what do I post, what do people want to see, how much of myself do I show to people? And Eddie and I had this conversation, and he said, I think if you are who you are, and people will follow if they want to follow. And if you post what you're doing day in, day out, that's you, it's I guess you kind of curate it a little bit. Like if you post, I don't know, you're doing a deal, maybe you share a little bit about that deal and how it came about.
It's working for me is I do kind of like a schedule. I kind of know that every Thursday I have to have a topic So Kara and I, we kind of bounce ideas off each other, and we make a list of the stuff that we want to talk about, or stuff that's going to help our business, or who we want to target. And so we just kind of go forth and just kind of do some notes and stuff like that. And then once we do it, I think the chemistry that we have on camera is organically. So we've been knowing each other for a long time, so I think that also helps. And my whole thing is I'm kind of funny, like I like to be goofy and stuff like that. She likes to be very serious, so we're like the yin and the yang, so it kind of helps out.
For me, the challenge has been, you obviously can't, and what Kara said is so true, it's staying in front of eyes. How do you get the attention and keep the attention? And you can't sell 24/7. And I think Rob does really good with what you just said, the good and the bad, because everyone's really curious. They like hearing the cool stuff, but the bad stuff keeps the attention because it's real.
Because I'm new in the industry, so I'm learning every day a ton, which we all are. And I try to share that. So if I have an experience where I'm like, wow, like I really, learned something from that, then I'll just get on, and I normally do stories for that. So then I'll say, oh, hey, I just had a showing, they said this, and I reacted this way, or something like that. And then mainly my posts, like to my feed, are kind of just restaurants or tenants that I go visit maybe on the weekends. It's mostly food, if you look at it. Yeah, so it's not really planned at all, but I liked what you were saying about making sure that you post a quote in the morning, because then if you have a little bit structure, then you'll be consistent. And I think I need to adopt that a little bit more.
When I started vlogging, for me, it was just doing it. I didn't care what the content was about. It was just like, hey, Brittany, follow me. Like, this is where we're going, literally. And because it was really a straight marketing branding play for me. So I didn't really care if anybody was necessarily getting value out of it. It was so unique in the industry that I knew people would talk about it. So, the way that it's funny too, because I always say this, where people think that, Brittany and I walking around the streets of New York City, that I'm like egotistical. Meanwhile, it's like super, like, uncomfortable. No, it's beyond that. It's like uncomfortable. It's not. But I'm not like shy, and I don't care what people are saying or thinking at this point. But it's more about having to adapt my day to meeting Brittany, making sure that we're prepared for whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, in addition to what I do in a day, which is run a company, and, manage a lot of clients and a lot of people and all that stuff. So, this has always been a way for me to drive attention to Sabre. So that's all this was ever about. So, for me, it was, I don't really care what people are saying as long as they're talking about me. So a lot of people don't have the balls to do that. I mean, because you put yourself in harm's way, potentially, of people saying negative stuff.
The negative and the haters are just means you're doing the right thing, because those are the same freaking people, and we've had this conversation before about people who just, all you do is, and I had someone make a comment today, a very prominent developer in South Florida who watches my Instagram, and it's like, oh, you're always on Instagram. I was like, let me show you something. I took out my phone, shot a 15-minute video. I was like, now watch it tonight, and I want you to see the perception of me being on all day versus what I just did right now and spreading it out over the day. So don't worry about that. That's the lightning rod for the attention to get a means to the end is so worth going right past that.
So you guys will see sometimes, like, I post every single day of the week, and then there's other days that I'll go a few days. I feel like as long as you're consistent with your stories, like, you're still alive and active, you didn't go completely dark, I don't see my followers really going down.
You are doing posts that are learning and teaching moments. When you jump on the whiteboard and you're teaching us about cap rates, and you're teaching us about, not only is it good for other brokers to see that, brand new brokers are going to actually learn something. We're going to be like, ooh, what's that deal? And let's analyze it as well. And who knows, maybe I've got a guy that's looking and he can bring it your way. But those teaching moments are freaking huge. Keep doing those.
I try to be active in my stories when I'm out in my market, because, I mean, I'm fortunate enough to work, really cool markets in Miami, and you see, like, historic buildings, emerging tenants, emerging brands coming into the market, new development. So it's yeah. So it's easy to put it on the story. I just got to be more consistent.
So day one of the conference is in the books, and the Sabre Blumenfeld party is about to pop off. So check it out. What's up, guys? So it's day 2 of RECon 2019. There's about 40,000 people that came to the desert for another ICSC. It's been a great show so far. There's a lot of rumblings about the evolution of retail, as anybody would suspect in the industry right now, but overall very well attended. It is day 2, so it starts to taper off. A lot of people are heading out of town today. The last parties and cocktail parties and dinners and festivities for the RECon convention are basically tonight, half day tomorrow, and then everybody heads out. So far, so good. So this is my 18th Las Vegas ICSC, and a lot has changed over those 18 years. A lot has changed in the industry, and with the technology advances and obviously the internet and its impact on retail, the industry is just changing faster than ever before. So it's interesting to me to kind of use this show as a barometer to look at how traditional brokerage is changing. And I think that it's going to continue to change in a major way based on, again, the fact that there's, I would say, fewer retailers that are actively growing at a quick pace, and the types of tenants that are growing are different in nature, right? So a lot of people use the internet for the basic stuff that they need for their house. They use it for clothing. Granted, if you don't know what your size is at a particular store, you're going to order some stuff and then probably have to go to the store to either return it or exchange it for a different size. So everything kind of works together, but the difference is that you don't need 20 different retailers selling the same sweater. And those companies that have not evolved and don't have a major differentiation are the ones who are suffering and closing. This morning, first thing I opened up on my phone was that Dress Barn is closing all of their stores. And that is, again, a very telling sign. There are plenty of people at this convention center that represent Dress Barn, and they just lost a client, okay? And that's gonna continue to happen. So for me, it's, again, very, very interesting to think about how everything else is going to change and continue to evolve, and how many people. I said earlier that there's 40,000 people typically at this conference, and I don't think there's going to be 40,000 people at this conference 5 years from now. I think everybody's role is going to change, and I think that there's going to be fewer people necessary to do what we do. And as the economy turns, it's also going to be challenging for the people who are not in the business as long as I am, 18 years now, and have not sustained a downturn. It's going to be tough for them to survive. And those things happening at the same time is a little, I don't want to say scary, but it's definitely something that everybody should be thinking about. So this conference, again, is basically the Super Bowl for retail real estate, and it's amazing for us to all come together and share new best practices, new things happening in the industry, tenants, developments, what's hot and exciting. So it's great, but there are a lot of people that are not necessarily going to need to be here to be in the business. So it's constantly changing.
My observations from this year's ICSC 2019.
This year's ICSC was like most year ICSCs. It's almost like a family get-together.
It was nice to see everybody out in Vegas. The first day is always more active than the second day, but the second day it's always good to see people at their booths.
There's more of a contrast between Monday and Tuesday than there have been in the past. I think a lot more people seem to be coming in on the weekend and then leaving either Monday night, Tuesday morning.
It's been super productive, and even if there's less people and less meetings, I think that everything just gets a lot more intentional, and your meetings are just that much more meaningful.
So it's refreshing to go shake a hand and understand a broker's personality outside of just phone calls and emails.
It's thin, but the only way in this business is to keep relationships going. So it's great to see people.
Overall, great to be with my friends and colleagues here at Sabre. I love these guys. They're fun, they're energetic, they give me vibrance. Can't wait till next year. So we are at the Bellagio kicking off the 2019 New York Developers Party. The New York Developers Party is a staple event of the Las Vegas ICSC, and you can see why. Most of the New York developers, brokers, allied trades, anybody in the industry that's based in New York Metro is at this event.
Welcome to my house party.